Good Erev Shabbos. I hope you had a meaningful Yom Kippur. And this week's Parsha is Haazinu. It's a song that tells us of the history of the Jews and what life will be like through our centuries, and concludes with a positive message as well. In the beginning, however, it says that you may need information in time. Ask your father, it says, and he will tell you. Your grandfather, and he will say to you. Interesting that the father tells and the grandfather says. Telling is associated with the giddim, the sinus, which are considered quite hard. It's getting the message across, but it's not all soft and candy-like. It's your father will tell you, so to speak, the facts. Ask your grandfather, on the other hand, and he'll say it to you. Saying is considered a softer message. Why is the grandfather softer and the father harder? Well, one approach might be that the grandparent has the wisdom of experience on his side, and he knows how to get the message across in a more delicate, sensitive, and softer way. And perhaps another approach is a little different. And this approach is really talking from the perspective of the child, that he feels like his father is telling him. He feels like his father may be speaking harshly to him, but it's not the case. Really, his father is delivering the same message as the grandfather, but the child, the listener, perceives it differently. Children have a natural instinct to, be rebellious from their parents. Many manage to control it, many don't. But that's a God-given instinct that has a good purpose in that it allows the child to become independent at a certain point, and hopefully they'll eventually grow out of their rebellion and come back strongly to the parent. But a grandparent who doesn't have the responsibility of raising the child has a different attitude, and the child doesn't feel the instinct and the need to rebel for its identity with the grandparent, because the grandparent is able to separate himself more from the child in a good way in order to be able to communicate to the child. And therefore, when the child's not rebelling, it sounds like the father's just saying to him, the grandfather's just saying to him, speaking more softly, and the message is heard better. This may be why the Talmud says, the seemingly nice idea, but somewhat enigmatic why it's true, that a person who learns Torah from their grandfather, it's as if they got it from Sinai. Because it's one more generation closer, it counts as being from Sinai? Why should that make a difference? It doesn't seem to be very sensible. But the idea is like this. From the parent, because of the competitive, rebellious streak that children have relative to their parents, they may kick a little bit when their parents are telling them something. But when you hear it from your grandparent, you feel it in an unbiased way, because there isn't the natural sense of rebellion, and you feel it's being taught to you for your own good, and you listen better because it's being taught just like God taught it. When God taught the Jewish people, they didn't think God had his own self-interest in mind. That was a ridiculous thing to think. They understood that God was telling them because it was the best thing for them. And when you hear it from your grandparent about the truth of Judaism, the truth of our history, the importance of our people, the importance of doing mitzvahs, then you believe it and accept it because you heard it as if it came from God. I'll tell you a personal story that's quite cute. When I first became religious thousands of years ago, I credited my mother's father to having the influence on me to become observant. My uncle, my mother's brother, said, I don't get it. My grandfather, his father, he didn't pick up the message that way. Why did I pick it up? And I was a young kid. I was 22. I didn't have a good answer for him. But now I think we all do. Even though my uncle was a star and was a wonderful person, but maybe there was a certain amount of static between him and his own father that didn't exist between him and a grandson. And the grandson picks up something that the son couldn't pick up. Not that he was lacking in any way. Had he merited to meet his grandparents, maybe he would have had the same reaction as well. Right? On the other hand, both his grandparents, passed away one when I think he was very young, or maybe even not quite born yet, I'm not sure, and the other for sure before he was born. In any case, I want to wish you all a wonderful Shabbos and a good one. Take care. See you next week.